Hi, fourth graders. It's Mr. Densmore again. This time we are looking at how we can solve 68 divided by 4. Yes, we can solve this the traditional way or some other ways we've learned in class, but we're going to look at a way that uses the area of a rectangle as a way to solve this problem. If you remember the formula for area, it is length times width gives us the area of a rectangle. And so in this case, our area would be 68, our length would be 4, and we are solving for the width. This would be a multiplication problem normally when we solve it, but since we know the area already, instead of using the multiplication problem of length times width to solve the area, we are using a division problem to solve multiplication here. Or we could think of it as what times 4 would equal 68. So we're going to discover that, because most of us don't know this in our head. A few may. So let's take a look and see how we can solve this like we're solving the area of a rectangle. So first of all, I know my length is 4 and my area is 68. So what I need to do is figure out what my width is going to be here. And so I'm going to recreate the rectangle now without the area in it, and then I'm going to use the steps I used to find out the area as a way to find out my width. So I have 4 here, and one thing that I'm doing is I'm using kind of a partial products way of doing this, where I'm looking at place value and combining the place values to find out my answer. So this is how it works. First, I want to figure out what times 4 would fill up part of this rectangle, and I like to start with the tens place. So all you do is just times it by 10. So if I take 4 times 10, I get 40. And you can see that that covers up a good portion, over half of our rectangle, but we still have the bottom portion still to solve. These numbers should be equal on at least the area of both these rectangles should end up being 68. So what I need to do is I need to put 68 here and subtract the 40 that I already know, because that's what I know on this rectangle, to find out the difference of what's left, and it's 28. So I'm going to put that 28 down into the area that I still need to solve. And so now, since I've taken 4 times 10, and I've got my 10 here, now I need to figure out what would create the 28. So once again, it's going to always have a 4, because our 4 is what we're working with. But 4 times what would be 28, because I'm dividing 68 by 4. 4 is my working number. What would 4 times what would be equal 28, or 28 divided by 4 would be what? Well, if we know our facts here, we could say, well, that's going to be 7, because 7 times 2 is 14, and if we double that, that gives us our 4s, so we would write 4 times 7 here, and that gives us 28. Now, once we have the area solved here, and we have it broken into our 10s and our 1s like we do, now I can figure out what the answer is. So, if you notice, what I times 4 by was a 10 up here and a 7 down here. In the 10s place was a 10 and a 7 in the 1s place. All I have to do is add the 10s and the 1s together, and I get a 17. And that is the answer. The answer to 68 divided by 4 is 17. Of course, you can check that with, some of the other division methods we've learned, or the traditional type method. But this is kind of a nice way and a good visual of seeing how division relates to area. I hope this is helpful. Enjoy.